Hi all, and thanks for watching. In this video, I'm just going to go over Half-Life 2 with ENB and SweetFX. Now I am running it in split screen so that you can actually see the difference in the vanilla game and the modded game, with the vanilla game being on the left and the modded game being on the right. Now the first thing you'll notice is the modded side actually clears up kind of that flat tone that seems to overlay the game and take away from the actual base colors, making them look more flat. Whereas on the modded side, you're able to see the base colors a lot more clearly, and things like the water, the reflections look more natural, and it actually looks like real water. The buildings and such, you can make out the finer details on them. In the horizon, you can actually see the tree line and the buildings much more clearly than you can on the vanilla side. And what this is basically designed to do is to bring out those natural colors and enhance the game. Now, because you're getting more of a true black with the shading and such, you will want to adjust your light level according to your own preference, but you'll want to bring that up just a bit when you're using this. Now I'm actually going to do a bit of gameplay to show you how it looks in a side-by-side comparison and what to expect. So let me just load a game in here, or actually I'll just start a new game and I'll play for a bit here. So I'll let the first part here play through.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until, well, let's just say your hour has come again. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Okay, so here we are in game, and I'll just kind of look around. If you notice the ceiling and the light sources, you're actually getting a bit clearer look to them, and it's actually bringing out a lot more detail. The actual base colors are showing through in their proper color tone rather than the kind of faded tone that you normally would see. Now I am playing the game in 4K, so it does look quite nice in 4K, although as you can see, the reflections on the seating and such, as I move over, they become a bit more flat, and they're not as shiny as the reflection would normally be. And I'll just kind of go out here, and if you notice what I was saying about the kind of darker shading, which brings out the definition in the game, it does make it look a bit darker on the modded side, but just adjust your brightness and that will compensate for that darkness issue. Now we'll just head out here, and if you notice, when I look up at the screen, the light level is actually pretty much the same on the screen there. And I'll just move back and forth over it here. And if you notice, when I have the vanilla side on the screen, the black isn't quite true black. It's actually kind of a grayish black. And that was kind of blinding.
Welcome.
Okay, so as you can see from his face, you're getting a more natural skin tone, and you're actually able to make out more definition on the screen. And I'll just move across here and back, so you can see the difference there in the screen. Now, as far as the walls in the surrounding area, you can see the shaded areas are actually coming in properly on the modded side, whereas if I move the mouse over and turn to the right here, those areas, you kind of lose a lot of the definition and the shadow isn't quite as strong. Same with the ground here. I'll just kind of go into this lit area and have a look around and see. Once you're in a lit area, you'll notice that the light level is pretty much the same, just you get the actual gray tone of the concrete floor, and you can see a lot more definition in the floor. And I'll just turn here, and once again you'll notice that it's become somewhat flat looking. And I'll just go over this light here on the corner and just turn, and as you can see, the wall itself, you're getting a lot more detail. You're seeing more cracks in the wall and kind of the finer blemishes in the wall itself. And this basically affects the entire game. But again, it doesn't change the base color. It's actually clearing up that gray tone and bringing out the actual color of the game, so that you actually get a more true to color game than what you're normally going to get. As this is an older game, it's actually still not a bad looking game, just this will help enhance the game further. And here I'm looking on the wall here, and if you notice, it does look a lot clearer on the right side as opposed to the left side. You can make out the paint blemishes and the cracks, and details are coming through a lot more clearly. That strip there going across the bottom area there, you can see the color is coming out more in a true gray rather than kind of a gray white, the flat color on the vanilla side. And I'll just take a walk through here. Now, in the darker areas, that's where you'll notice that it's a bit darker, because the actual shadows themselves are coming through darker. And if you notice on the wall ahead of us, the shadow again is kind of a gray color. It's not very strong, whereas if I move over top of it, you see that the shadow is now coming through in a proper color for shadow. Although the two billboards themselves aren't much different between the actual light level, but you can make out a bit more detail on the walls themselves, the corners, as well as the structures. So let me just head around here. Okay. Now I'll just look at this fellow here, and if you notice, the vanilla game, his uniform looks nice, but it is rather flat, whereas the modded side, you'll notice that you can actually see the material lines in his jacket, and you can see the threading and such in his jacket. The white is actually coming out as a pure white rather than that kind of grayish white that you see on the left. And same thing, I'll look up at the screen there, and if you notice, the skin tone and such is much more accurate once you have the modded side over the screen, as opposed to kind of the flat grayish look to it. So I'm just gonna head in here. Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna finish up here, but hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And if you do have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks a lot for watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you again.